black or white, young or old, straight or gay, male or female. Now, I had the honor to work with Justice Ginsburg a long time ago. I'm not going to tell you how long ago because that would make me seem really old. I was her legal assistant for a year, and she told me about what it was like when she came out of law school. She actually attended Harvard Law School, like I did, and she made law review, which was only the smartest people could do that. I didn't even come close. So she was one of the first women ever to be on Harvard Law Review. Her husband, Marty, who I knew also worked with him, was a year older, also at Harvard Law, graduated a year before her. So what she had to do, and for those of you who are from that generation, you know what I mean when I say what she had to do, was she had to leave Harvard Law School when her husband got a job in New York. And instead, what she did was she enrolled at Columbia Law School, totally different school, totally different curriculum even back then. And amazingly, she made law review at Columbia. To this day, man or woman, the only person ever to be on law review at both Harvard Law School and Columbia Law School. She finished third in her class, and when she graduated, she applied to the same law firms that her husband applied to successfully when he got a job at a major law firm in New York called Fried Frank. And her only job offer, remember, this is someone who later became a U.S. Supreme Court Justice, who had already distinguished herself academically. Her only job offer was legal secretary. Now, I'm not talking about Russia, I'm not talking about Japan, I'm not talking about China, I'm talking about the United States of America, and I'm not talking about the 1600s, the 1700s, or the 1800s. I'm talking about within memory, within the lifetime of someone who I know. Things have changed in America. Now that woman is on the U.S. Supreme Court. We have to make sure they don't change back. And let me tell you why. Because if things had not changed in America, that brilliant legal mind, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, would never have had a chance to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court. She would have always been nothing but a legal secretary, and she would have suffered for it, and we would have suffered for it. Because in order to make America successful, in order to make the United States of America be all that we can be, then every single one of us needs to be all that we can be. Unchained by racism, unchained by prejudice, unchained by poor health, unchained by ignorance or a lack of education, unchained by discrimination. All of us, men and women, need to be all we can be. That is America. Now for my prepared remarks. Move On has provided us with a list, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this, of some of the more shocking attacks by the Republican Party against women. Number one, Republicans are trying to redefine rape. Number two, a state legislature in Georgia wants to change the legal term for victims of rape, stalking, and domestic violence from victim to accuser. They're not going to be called victims anymore. In South Dakota, Republicans proposed a bill that would make it legal to murder a doctor who provides an abortion. Republicans want to cut $1 billion from food and other aid to low-income pregnant women, mothers, kids, and babies. Republicans have a bill in Congress, this is number 5, that would let hospitals allow a woman to die rather than to perform an abortion necessary to save her life. Number 6, Maryland Republicans ended all money for low-income kids' school programs because they said women should really be at home with their kids and not working. Number 7, at the federal level, Republicans want to cut Head Start by $1 billion. That means that 200,000 children would lose that opportunity in preschool. Number 8, 2/3 of the elderly poor are women, and Republicans introduced a spending bill that would cut funding for employment services, meals, and housing for senior citizens. The theory being, I guess, that they can live in their cars as long as they know how to drive. Number 9, Congress just voted for a Republican amendment to cut all federal funding from Planned Parenthood. Number 10, if that weren't enough, Republicans are pushing to eliminate all funds for the only federal family planning program in existence, but a Republican has introduced a bill that would nevertheless provide contraception for wild horses. What did those 10 items have in common from the Move On website?
Republicans.
The word Republican. Now, look, you all know how bipartisan I am. I've got bipartisan coming out of my ears. But I will tell you that the war on women is being waged by one party in this country against all of the women in this country, and that party is the Republican Party. It's time that somebody called them out. We are about to have an election in November. You can see what's at stake. If the Republicans win that election, the war on women will continue and be extended. The war on the middle class will continue and be expended. The war on the poor will continue and be extended, because the Republican vision in this country is to have half of America providing cheap labor and the other half at home doing nothing. We have to win. The stakes are enormous. They're huge. If one side wins and the other side loses, you can say goodbye to Social Security, to Medicare, to Medicaid, to student loans, to unemployment insurance, and most importantly, to your rights. To your rights. So it's extremely important that we organize and we win. The reason why you have men here today with women is because some of us recognize that an attack on any one of us is an attack on all of us. An attack on a gay is an attack on a straight. An attack on the old is an attack on the young. An attack on a 17-year-old black boy is a murder of us all. Something inside of each one of us dies. And the result of that is that we have to be united. We have to be united, and we have to fight back. The people united will never be defeated. 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 Thank you very much. I appreciate the standing ovation. Except for you over there.